Hello, I'm Bill. I will be your host for today. Let's just get some housekeeping out of the way. The Adult Potato is an internet-based parody cartoon series that integrates factual events and locales with fictional characters for the purpose of satire and comedic commentary. Any resemblance of these fictional characters to actual persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental and not intentional unless specifically stated. Despite the factual nature of some content, the series should not be interpreted as a reliable source of news or factual information. The creators, producers, and distributors of The Adult Potato expressly disclaim any liability for misunderstandings or actions taken based on the show's content. This show is intended for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Researching news in Wellington can really screw with your brain. I'm glad someone sent me a ticket to the circus. I can use the distraction. Wow. It's a good thing I have GPS. I had no idea this place existed. I thought this was an old field. Well, let's give it a try. Wellington Fire Protection District Night Circus? Well, at least it's accurately named. Oh, hi there. Love your costume. You really committed to the mummy character.
Oh, this? Actually, I was in a minor car accident the other day, but you know how our healthcare system can be. I'd rather have too much than too little.
I hear you. I'm glad you're going to be okay. Where was the accident?
I-25. Thank God for the Wellington firefighters. They got to the scene quickly and were a great help. I'm so grateful for that group.
They really are the best. The board, though, they're worrying me. The whole fire district thing is messing with my brain. You heard about Director Myers leaving? I mean, you can't blame the guy. I'm sure it was like talking to a brick wall. They had no plan to listen to experience.
Yeah, losing Director Myers was a gut punch. He was the only one with common sense on the board. Everyone else seems to be drinking the Kool-Aid that we can afford to pay our firefighters what Poudre Fire Authority pays, but without the revenue to do it with. PFA's revenue in 2022 was over $40 million, and that doesn't include the millions that they have in assets and investments.
Exactly. We're not a Poudre Fire Authority. Sure, PFA covers 235 miles and our district covers 288, but they have almost 200,000 people in that 235 miles. Our district has maybe around 10% of that. And do you know what comes with 200,000 people? A lot of property taxes to pay their firefighters with. Speaking of which, it looks like the board members are working the circus to try to raise some money since they're already $30,000 over budget this year.
The irony is thicker than their heads. They want to be able to do what Poudre Fire Authority does, but they don't want Wellington to get big enough to be able to have the population which brings in the revenue to do those same things. I tell you what, when we have a population of close to 200,000 people, they can pay the firefighters what Poudre Fire Authority pays their firefighters. Until then, they need to get it through their heads that we can't keep trying to keep up with the Joneses. We are who we are. A small rural town with a fire district that was a volunteer department up to a decade or so ago. And they're about to spend us into bankruptcy, so we'll probably end up being a volunteer department again.
We voted these new guys onto the board because we thought they understood business, but they obviously don't. I'm having some voters regret right now, but there weren't better candidates. We were hoping that they would understand that Wellington is growing, and salaries can grow with that pace. But we cannot compete with the Boulders and Poudre Fire Authorities. We are a great training ground and a rung on the ladder for a lot of great firefighters. Our stations don't have a lot of upward mobility because we're just not that big. We don't have 16 stations. We have 2, and one of them isn't even staffed regularly. We get some great people in from the Ames program, and for those that stay with the station to one day fill the role of chief. We are grateful. But it's like a corner lemonade stand trying to be a Sonic drive-in. We may get there someday, but that day is not today.
And we're not going to approve another mill levy increase so they can get that out of their heads right now. They can't manage the money they have. We need to learn to live within our means. This is the same thing that happens to some of those people that win the lottery. They spend it all and end up living back in the small house in the city. We need to learn to run our district within our budget first before we get these big ideas. And I don't see that it has ever happened. We have sold off assets, taken out loans, and misappropriated funds. Some of these people are the same people that are bitching about balanced budgets for town, state, and federal governments. The hypocrisy is thick. They preach fiscal responsibility for others while throwing money after a problem in hopes that will fix it.
There should be no shame in letting people leave to improve in their careers. It's like high school. You teach them what they need to know and wish them well in their new positions. Their success is the district's success. Take pride in helping that firefighter be able to be promoted and move up in a bigger station. Who knows? They may end up coming back and being a future fire chief for us. Let's hope they get all the experience they can and come back and be a future leader for the Wellington district.
It truly is exhausting. No wonder only one person applied for the last open board seat that was vacated. And now they need another. It's probably going to take replacing the entire board at this point to get things going in the right direction. The union president is taking advantage of their lack of experience, and that depth of experience on that board is now less than 2 years old.
You're right. I'm all for unions, but led by a union president that is smart enough to work within a budget to keep the best interest of the district. You know, the people that are actually funding the district at the heart of negotiations. Not just taking advantage of a bunch of rubes that don't know what they're doing. Also, this town has enough people that have been following what's going on with the fire district that they will be very loud and fight against any mill levy increases to cover the ridiculous spending that's being tossed around.
Yes, and isn't it convenient that the board wants to increase the payroll for current firefighters while cutting the pension of the people that volunteered for decades before them that actually built the district up?
Exactly. Well, obviously they only pander to the future, not take care of the past. Kinda like what the federal government does with the veterans.
Well, it seems like they're learning how to be politicians, if not learning anything about how to run a district like a business. Obviously, none of these people have had this many employees or this much of a budget to work with in the past.
I can understand the lack of experience. That's usually something people can work with because they take the time to learn from the people before them. But lack of experience with the lack of awareness or respect to the point that you're a bull in a china shop is what we're dealing with. Well, it sure was nice walking through the circus with you. By the way, I'm Pepper. I don't think I ever got your name. I'd love to connect sometime and talk again.
That sounds great. I can't remember my name. Maybe I'm more hurt from that accident than I thought.
Whoa! What's going on? You're getting kinda sparkly or something there.
Well, would you look at that? There is an afterlife. Hey, good luck with that fire district shit show. Looks like I'm moving on. This is awesome.
Damn it, I should have known better. No red flags. Too good to be true here in Wellington. You have to have at least a pink flag or two to live here. But it does make things more interesting. I bet he forgot to lock his door.